I think people are still joining.
Okay, so we can start. Um, Good afternoon once again. So
Good afternoon.
um, today we'll be discussing about loops, types of loops in PHP. So we would like to do a quick recap on what we did yesterday. So yesterday we discussed about decision making, decision making, how we can make decision, and we came to realize that PHP we can use the if statement to make decision. We have the if, then we have the else, if part, and the else part to make the decision. We also find out that we have the nested if. We can write if within if. And we also came across the switch, which moves along with the case. So case, then the information, and we have a certain code of lines of code to execute, then we give it a break. So if those cases are not being matched, then we give it a default, the default thing to do. So today we'll quickly move to what we want to do. That's the loop. So um, when we say a loop, um, loops are used to execute a same piece of code or a block of code for a specific number of times. So if I have a same piece of code in which I want it to um, execute maybe like 3 times, I have to use a loop to do that. So let's see the types of loops that we have in PHP. Um, One, we have the for loop, and again we have the while loop. Then we have the do while, the do while. Then we have the for each loop. So these are the basic loops that we can write in PHP. So I'll try to explain each type of loop. Then we move to our um, PHP page. Then we'll try to um, create each type of the loop. Okay, so let's begin with the for loop. Um, we use the for loop to execute a code of block for a specific number of time. So assuming that I know the number of times that I want um, the iteration to happen, maybe 3 times, then I can use the for loop to write that code. So it moves like, so to write the for, we use the keyword for, then bracket. So we then create a variable inside like this variable, maybe I, then we assign a value to it. So 0 like this, then semicolon. Then the condition, so we have I, which is we've assigned a number to it. So we use the same I again. We can say that I is maybe less than or equal to 10, like this. Then semicolon. Then we have the last part, which is the incremental. So we have the increment operator. So S dollar sign I, the variable I, then plus plus like this. So we first assign a value to the variable. So we create an initialization. So we've created a variable and we've assigned a value to it. So it's initialization. Then we gave it a condition that I is less than or equal to 10. Then the last part is either the incremental or the decremental. So either the variable I plus plus or I minus minus. So if you want to decrease it, please hope you understand. Please hope you understand.
Yes, I do.
So like this, then we bring a curly bracket. So inside this bracket, then the code of block that you want it to perform will be inside this curly bracket. So let's move to our PHP, then try to write a for each loop to see how it works. So I'll first on my example. So I'll start my Apache like this. Okay, so I'll create a new file, then save it inside my server or the local host. So C, then XAMPP, then htdocs folder. Then inside this, I'll save it as loop.php. Then save. So I'll write my question mark, then PHP, then question mark again, greater than. So inside this that I write my code. So let's try. Let me open it in my browser. So localhost. Then I have loop.php. So this is my page. It's an empty page. So from this, we said that we can create a for loop using the for keyword. Then we assign the value to a variable. That's the initialization. Then the condition, then either the incremental or the decremental, which is the last part. So let's start. So we use the for. So um, let me go over again, undo. So for, then I'll create a variable I, then assign a value to it. So maybe 0, like this, semicolon. Then the same variable I is either less than or equal to 10. That's the condition. And the last one is incremental, so I plus plus. And I'll bring my curly bracket. So inside this bracket, then I'll write um, some code of blocks to be executed. So maybe I can decide to display an information like maybe echo um, this is a loop like this. So let me save it, then move to my browser to check. So I'll refresh my browser. So I have, this is a loop. Let me increase it a little bit. So I have, this is a loop. This is a loop. This is number of times based on the condition. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, you can continue.
So
Hello.
I can to take the
If
echo.
you want the, this is a loop. Hello.
Hello. So I can take this one out.
Hello.
Please you can talk.
Hello.
Please you can talk.
Question.
Please,
Can you hear me?
yeah, ask.
Hello.
Please you can ask your question.
Hello. Okay. Yes, I'm saying that the way it was displayed, if you want it that this is a loop, to go to the first line, this is a loop, second line. In that case, what will you do?
You'll get to there.
Oh, okay.
You can embed HTML tag in PHP. You get to there. So I can decide to display the numbers that. So I would like to display the I for us to see. I'm sorry, and I for us to see. So I'll save it, then move to my browser. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, up to 10. Okay, so when I want it to move to the next line, this is a loop. Let me undo. I can embed HTML tag, that's the break tag, at the latter part, like this. Please do get it. I'll embed the break tag to it, then save it. Move to my browser, refresh. Then I have, this is a loop in the vertical form. Please hope it's clear.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, sir.
Okay,
Hello, sir.
please talk.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Please, you can talk.
James, what's up? Kwasi. Kwasi.
Hello.
Please, we are listening.
So I spoke already. I was clear with my question.
You can move on.
Is somebody else that was trying to ask a question? Yes.
Can we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, with this little knowledge, I want someone to help us to write a code that will sum the first 100 natural numbers for us. Can someone help?
I sign 1 up to 100.
Yeah. So I want to take this off, or let me keep it. Then you make
Okay.
amendment.
So what you have over there,
Yeah.
our I is still 0. Our I is less or equal to 99.
Less than or equal to 29.
And then 99. And then SI plus plus.
Okay.
Then the echo we will have um, hmm.
That's
Then we will have uh, echo I plus
okay. I plus
mm, I think I'm
that's good. The idea is
okay. SI, huh? SI plus SI plus I'm stuck.
that's good. The idea is there. So I said natural numbers. So starting from 1 to 100
Okay.
like this, and I want to sum it. So I would like to do some operators here. So I can say that this I plus equal to the I that is coming. Sorry, I. Or better still, we can create another variable outside the for loop. Then maybe answer. I'll create a variable ans and I'll assign 0 to it. So this time around, I'll write ans um, class equal to I like this. Please hope you understand. So I can decide to echo the answer at each stage, or I can better still stop. Then after the loop, then I will display the answer like this. So with this style, I'll have only one answer. But when I write the echo answer in the for loop at each stage, it will display the answer for us. So we can try that method. Let me save this, then refresh. So I have 50-50 as my answer. So the situation where I try to cut this information, the echo answer, then I'll paste it inside the loop. So meaning at each stage, it should display the answer. So I like to give a break. So in PHP, we have something called concatenation. It's not only in PHP, but meaning I want to add something to the answer. So I use the dot sign. Then I add the information. So I want to give it a break like this. So meaning the answer should display. Then it should also give me a break to the next line. So I'll save it. Then refresh my browser. So we have a loop for about 100 times. So we have the first, which is the 1. Then 1 plus 2 will give us 3. So from the 2, the 3 moves to the third. So 3 plus 3 giving us 6. 6 plus 4. Please hope you understand how it works.
Yes.
So we can have something like this. And also, we can have loop within loop. So we can have a for loop. And inside this for loop, I can also write another for loop inside. So that is a for loop within a for loop. So maybe within this loop, um, let me clear this part and write another for loop. So for, again, I'll create another variable, maybe j, then I'll assign maybe 1 to it. This time around, this variable j is less than 5. Then I will increase it. J, variable j plus plus like this. Then I'll have my curly bracket. So I can also decide to echo something like um, I don't know what to write. I want to write something to differentiate. Okay, let me write echo. Maybe this is a sub, or this is a nested loop like this. So I can add my break here. So I'll have this a nested loop. Then inside the main loop, I can decide to echo something out. This is the main loop. Or maybe I will display the let me display the numbers rather. So variable I like this. Then I can break it also here. So break like this. So I'll save it. Then so I have 1. Then this is a nested loop. 1, a nested loop. So we can have a loop within a loop. I hope you understand.
So the display I want to see, is it go to 100?
Yeah. I have 1 up to the 1 here. So I can scroll down. So
Is it annually up to the 5th one? 100th one?
yeah. So I have the 100 here. So it will loop 100 times, but inside the 100, inside the loop, I have
Oh, I see.
a loop of about.
So that means that
Okay.
the number of times that it will say this is a nested loop is controlled by the inner one, which
Yeah.
is 4.
Yeah.
4. Okay. So that means that when the first instruction, number 1, is displayed, when it goes inside the second loop, it will finish the second loop before to come on and go back again.
The second one. So we can see that I have the first one which display 1, and inside that first, I had a loop of 4. So this is a nested loop. We loop for 4 times. Then it will come out from that nested loop to the main loop, then to give us 2 again. Then inside it will execute the for loop inside it again, then move out. So something like this. It will first pick the I, then inside the I, it will then come and execute this for loop before it will come back, then increase the I. Please hope you understand. Okay, with this.
So if the echo SI wasn't there, what will happen?
The echo what? Please, your question again.
Hello.
Your question again.
Hello.
Please stop.
I was saying that
Okay.
in case we don't have the echo SI, we are not displaying the number.
Yeah. So we can
So will it still work the same way?
we can take away the echo I, and we will still have this is the nested loop, looping 4 times.
So that case, you not display
So not display the number.
the 1,
So we have the
2.
this is nested.
Oh, okay.
So with this, you can even write a multiplication table with it. So someone should help us or give us how we can create a multiplication table starting from multiplication of 2 to maybe 5.
Mean that you
Meaning
multiply
2 and 2
2
up to
times
2 and 2
1.
up to
2 times
yeah
2.
up to 2 times 12. Then it will move to the next stage. Then you have 3 times 1, 3 times 2 up to 3 times 12. Then it will move to the next 3 times 4 times 1 up to 5 times 12. Can someone help us? You can try. You can try.
Up to 5 times table.
Yeah, starting from
If I can get a question, well, like
multiplication
2
table
times table up to 5
times 12. So we have 2 multiplication of 2. Then we have multiplication of 3, 4, then 5.
Okay.
Okay, let's try. So we said multiplication starting from 2. So I'll change this one from 1 to 2 up to 5. So this is my first loop because looking at the multiplication, you first have multiplication of maybe 2, then multiply by 1, then it will give us the answer like this. So we have to first take this loop, then you have another loop for this. So you have a nested loop. Hope you understand.
Yes.
So inside the nested loop, this time around, this j starting from 1 up to 12, like this. So this time around, inside this nested loop, then I'll try to echo the multiplication, or if something like this, um, I'll display first I, sorry, like this. So it will be something like the first I multiplying by j, like this, to give us the answer, like this. Please hope you do understand. So I want to write this in the proper way so that you can see the number and the multiplication. So first, I'll first display the I, like this. Then I'll write the concatenation, then the multiplication sign, then move outside. Then I also try to display J like this. Then I'll create another concatenation like this. Then I'll display my equal to inside. So after displaying my equal to, let's try to make it simple here. So let's first do the calculation on top before we display. So we will take first, let's take our answer, that's the answer, is equal to, so our I multiplied by our J. So we have our answer being stored in our variable answer. So we can then display it at this place, variable answer. So you have the first loop starting from 2. So you have 2, then this multiplication sign, then J, so starting from 1, then the final answer, like this. So we can even break it. So let's try to break it. Break to the next line. So let's save it. Let me try to run. So let me reduce the size. So we can see that we have the multiplication of 2 here. 2 multiplied by 1 to give us 2. 2 multiplied by 2 to give us 4. Then up to 12. Then we have the next loop starting from 3, multiplying 1 to give us 3. Then we have 4. Then the fifth one. Please hope it's clear. Please, is there any question? Our time is almost up. Our time is almost up, so we will continue with the while and the do while tomorrow. So you can practice this, the for loop. You can use it to do many things. So we just did a multiplication table with it. Please, is there any question?
I want to copy this before you.
Okay.
So from the echo S from the echo SI concatenate times SJ equal to that. If we could just go simply and just say echo answer, will you give it the same thing?
When I try to, let me take this one off and let me echo the answer